Yeah, g'day Bush Camper Tools here. Well, as you can see, we're out here in the jungle again. Got with me the Kizlyar Supreme Survivalist X fixed blade. What a top knife. G10 scales. Osage blade. You see the blade is the same as the Survivalist X hollow handle. You got this funny squedge on the back here and a squedge at the top. It's a squedge for chopping into dead branches. We'll check that out a bit later on. Big straight drop point, easy to sharpen, comfortable handle, lanyard hole, top dollar knife, the Survivalist X. So follow me now for the coming weeks and I'll show you what I've been doing out here with this knife out and about. I'm very, very excited about this. Okay, Survivalist X. The palm front, you see this? No problems, get a load of that, fantastic. Okay, let's move on. I'm really jazzed about this Survivalist X fixed blade. Long awaited its arrival from Kizlyar Supreme. What can I say, you know, 7-inch, just a bit over 7 inches of cutting blade on there, and as I said just earlier on, it's full tang down here like that. This version's got the green G10, but there's a tan G10 and a desert G10, and there's natural, beautiful dark walnut scales as well too. So it's a great knife. You see me chop through and cut up some palm fronds, no problems. A good test for any knife. Love Osage, good corrosion resistance in this situation out here like this, where you've got, you know, a lot of water. Being Osage, you've got great, you know, see out here, right, you've got great corrosion resistance. No problems with getting the blade wet whatsoever. You know, not going to get any corrosion on that whatsoever. You just don't have to worry about it in this wet, humid environment out here like that. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about the Scabbard. It's a fully MOLLE compatible Scabbard. You've got this screw here which you can undo to remove this plastic thing in there like that, the insert. Okay, and that's a safety insert on there like that. And you've got you know, grommets on the outside with cord that can be put in there like that, around there like that. You've got MOLLE straps on the back here, regular belt loop on there like that, and double closure on there. So you've got this hard plastic insert that cannot, you know, that's a safety issue, that. So that's really, really good. And it's a camo design. What can I say? It's like their other regular Scabbards, MOLLE straps on the back there. Can't really go wrong with it. Yeah, okay. Right, okay, so here we are, Bush Camper Tools. We're on a big 70 kilometer long beach. This is just part of it. You can see, you can almost see the end of it there, and the other end, shrouded up there. It's a situation where you might be here and you get stranded on the beach with your boat or whatever. This is exactly what I was talking about. You're stranded on a beach, there's flotsam jetsam, we've got a pallet which is washed up here. We just, you know, there's nothing out here, right? That's a good reason to have a big knife with you, especially if you're coastal camping. You know, there's nothing around and you might be able to hack this up. Okay, you can set the whole thing on fire, but it's easy if you can hack it up and, you know, get a bit of thin wood to basically start a fire with. Yeah, the knife does it, that's for sure. And you can get, you know, some stuff off, a bit of stuff to light a fire here with that there like that. So there you go. Knife, you can cut off big hunks of wood, you know, and get it stuff like this, okay, to get wood to be able to light a fire, or you can get the wood, you know, and you can shave some wood off it if you can, like that. You see that there? Okay, get some fine stuff to start a fire with. All right. Right, okay, son just found this coconut on the beach. I don't know what's in it. I'm going to use the back of the... Oh, what was that? Felt like something's in that. Anyway, I'm going to use the back of the knife to hack into it so we can preserve the blade. Might be lucky here. Look at that. Could be lucky. I hear a nut inside of there. I hear a nut. Look out for the water. Go. Yeah, right on the beach, obviously, as you can see that. That could be a nut, it's pretty small. Here's another one, right? See that there? There's a nut in there. It could be lucky. get at it. There's the nut there. Let's see if it's got any water in it. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Wait on, there's a bit of coconut in there. Hey! You see that there? That's a good bit of coconut. Let's see. Can't get any more survival than this. Let's get a bit of that nut. Survivalist X, just chopping up some chicken. No problems. You've seen we've been hacking into the coconuts on the beach. Now we're back at the hacienda and you know, didn't sharpen the knife, cutting up the chicken. You saw it plunged into the sand. Obviously, it's holding its edge quite nicely, because chicken, if the knife is not sharp, you're not going to be able to do this. Absolutely not. Any meat for that matter, but especially chicken. No problems. Look at that. No problems. Okie dokes. Short work of palm fronds through this. It's not a machete, but you've got to watch out you don't spear your eyes, you know, moving about in the bush. No problem with that. Now this is Australian hardwood, eucalyptus. That's where you can use the back of the blade there for hacking into things that you see this right. Well, you don't want to preserve the blade. You see that, all right? And you don't have to hack the blade. But this stuff's really hard. It's been down for about a year, I reckon. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Now, you can't put your hand against that, of course. It's not sharp, but it's too acute. But you can hold in here to carve with. So you can see that there, right? Right. So what we're going to do is just going to see this. It's not really flat. Should have picked a flat bit, but. So this is hard seasoned wood. That's a bit of a knot. You see that there? You see this? No problems with this. Now let's have a look and see whether that's holding that edge, because this is really hard wood, all right? Let's have a look at that, okay? See that? No problems. Let's get a close-up of that. Hear that there? Still nail biting sharp. And that's what I expect from a well, proper hardened knife. Okay, let's move on. A couple of other features I wanted to point out about the carry system is, of course, here you've got Velcro, which you can swap these things around, these straps around for left-handed or right-handed release, which is really good. You see that there, they're just held in there with Velcro, which is great. And that makes a big difference. So it makes it more versatile rather than just... And that's what I like about their scabbards. They're quite versatile carry systems, okay? Yeah, g'day. Okay, so what I want to do now is the summary about the Kizlyar Supreme Survivalist X fixed blade, which I've had with me now for several weeks out in the field. Here it is here. Let's have a get a look at it. Here it is here on my tactical belt. So I want to talk about the knife now, just a summary of it. Here it is here. You see that there? It's a big knife. It's marketed as one of their survival knives along with their hollow handle models. So I just want to say quickly, you see me review the hollow handle version of this. It's essentially the same blade, that same great blade design. So my thoughts on the blade design have not changed. Okay, we're just going to hack off this branch here. Just there's a bit of hardwood, you know, The knife swings really, really well. You can see that. Okay, little effort. I don't have to beat the, swing the daylights out of it. There's enough momentum, even though it's a 5mm slab. It doesn't have to be 6mm. Right, okay, this is the great thing about having this, big swedge. Well, it's almost like a wedge actually on the back of the spine. You can just get rid of all this other stuff on the outside without damaging the knife. And if you have to hack off branches or something, or get at some good wood, that's a good, thing to have. It's just a nice little addition, I feel. For using it, I've been using the hollow handle a lot out here and on the coast, and the blade design has not really changed on this at all. I think it's great. So some of the things I want to talk about just before my final summary of this is, on the blade, there are some measurements on the blade here, and you can see that there, okay? And those measurements are put on there because you can use those to measure things for traps. If people want to build traps and triggers and all this kind of stuff like that, and snares, you can use it to get an exact length on things to do that. The other thing I want to point out with this knife is that it comes with a range of different grips. As I said earlier on, you've got G10, various different G10 scales, and the natural walnut scales as well on this. All right. Okay, so the Survivalist X2, it's made in Russia, which I really love. Made in Russia to me is like a brand name, always has been, for dependability and toughness. We think of things made in Russia, we think of things lasting and just simply working. At least that's what I do anyway. Okay. 2 different kinds of blade steels are offered at the moment, D2 and OS8. This is OS8, and for me, I personally prefer OS8 for working out in the wilds, because I do a lot of stuff on the coast. You've seen I've had this knife on the beach. It's got submerged in the sand, plunged in the sand, the salt water, and I must admit, I pulled the scales off. No corrosion on the tang, and it's a full tang, by the way. There's no cutouts inside this tang. The only holes in this tang are where these bolts go through the scales to anchor the scales on the tang. It's not skeletonized in there whatsoever. You could easily cord wrap this handle, and you can see there, I did in fact start to cord wrap the handle just to see if you could, and it works absolutely perfectly. Okay, so ergonomics, great. It's very well balanced. It's comfortable. There's no hot spots in this knife whatsoever. You've got a not too acute angle pommel on the back with a lanyard hole here too, which is good. What can I say? Not much more than that. It works really well, and it worked really well for me out in the Australian bush. So that's the Kizlyar Supreme Survivalist X. Maybe it's right for you. Thanks for watching Bush Camping Tools here.